In today's challenging world, it's vital to have energy, enthusiasm, and optimism. Positive thinking will show you how to transform your approach to living so that you can feel good about yourself, create worthwhile relationships, and perform successfully.
Hi, and welcome to the last in our series of downloadable modules on the subject of positive thinking. Just one of the subjects covered in the Essential Managers series, originally published in book form by Dorling Kindersley. In the coming months, we'll be continuing to bring these books to your laptop or PC screen, so don't forget to look out for our next series of 4 modules. Now, in the first 3 modules on positive thinking, we learned how to first spot our own negative traits, whether they originated from our thoughts or our emotions or our beliefs. And then we learned the techniques of capturing this negativity and confronting it. We learned that we could use its energy to dig deeper into ourselves and our personal makeup and get rid of the root causes. As an example, think of anger, a natural response to a challenge or a threat. But if we take a step back from that anger, we can then use its energy to build the courage to confront the situation that's causing the problem. Next, we began to use positivity to start stretching ourselves and set ourselves new challenges and goals. In this module, we'll discover ways of integrating positive thinking into everything we do. We'll learn how to create well-formed outcomes that provide the milestones along the road to truly living a positive life.
Positivity is generated from inside. But what happens outside also matters. Creating a routine, an environment, and a lifestyle that harmonizes with your inner self brings long-term benefits. Create space, however tiny, to which you can retreat and which is organized according to your own taste. At home, it could be a corner of a room, a garden shed, or a converted loft. At work, it could be your desk. Even if you share the space with other people, make sure that there's some aspect of it that makes you happy. Green is a colour that soothes and harmonises. Yellow is invigorating and warm. Blue is said to be calming and settling. Red stimulates and arouses. Purple energises and inspires. And orange is welcoming and warm. Finding the moments to mentally retreat from the world is also a way to re-energize. Set aside a few moments every day to turn off the phone and relax and refocus on your own positive affirmation. This is a time to strengthen the bond you have with your own positive self.
All of this helps to give you the foundation on which to build whatever it is that you want to achieve. We've just been putting some tools in front of you, tools to help continue building a more positive life. Whatever that means to you. Do you want to get fitter? Do you want promotion? Do you want a new job? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to win the next round of the local golf tournament? Learn a new language? Climb a mountain? Whatever it is, everyone can go about it in the same way, a positive way.
I want to lose weight.
I really want to impress everybody with my tennis skills.
I want a new job.
You need to ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve? And can I write it down as an achievable goal?
I want to lose 5 kilos by summer.
I want to win my next tennis match.
I want to enroll on a course for a new qualification.
While you're defining your goal, you can ask, is it something I really want? When I reach this goal, will what I've gained be worth the effort? And what might I lose along the way? Does your goal match what you really believe in?
What incentives should I make for myself?
Along with the goal, work out the reward. What is the incentive for the work you're about to embark on?
What are my first steps?
It's easy to get overwhelmed by a big task, a feeling that you'll never achieve the goal, it's just too big and so on. But break it down into smaller steps, and suddenly it becomes possible. I think this is something that people who design airports must know. If they said to us, go to catch your plane, it's 1.5 miles that way, it may dampen our spirits somewhat. But they don't. They say, go just down this corridor, up that escalator, just round the corner, and along the next corridor, and around the next corner. But before we know it, we're there. We did it, but we did it in bite-sized stages.
What do I need to achieve the steps?
Now, we touched on this in a previous module. What do I need to do the job in hand? If you were asked to walk across a field of broken glass in your bare feet, you'd probably be somewhat reluctant, and rightly so. But if you were wearing a pair of extra tough walking boots, suddenly it becomes easy. So make sure you have what you need to do the task that you've set yourself.
What incentives do I have along the way?
So reward yourself for the achievements of all of the steps along the way. Then revise your plan. Have a look at it again. See if it's the right one. Talk to some people who've done it before. Then just get going. Start the task, even if you don't feel like it. You might think that effective people need to feel motivated before they start something. That isn't always the case. But they do let their motivation build from the success of having started something. Also by noticing the successes along the way, and by anticipating more success in the future.
I was working in a very noisy environment. I found it distracting and frustrating.
High noise can be baffled with thick curtains, double glazing, or even headphones.
I was working in a very stuffy environment. I was often lethargic and very low.
Open windows if you can to freshen the air. Plants give oxygen, and a humidifier can create a more sympathetic atmosphere.
I used to be a bit disorganized, but then I realized the chaos was really confusing and it made me feel like I wasn't in control.
Use storage to help clear away the clutter. If you're feeling stressed, focusing on a small thing like tidying a desk can help you regain control. Even spending a few minutes deleting old computer files or phone messages can help regain the feeling that you're in charge. Do you keep lines of communication open?
I never bother to ask how my partner's day's gone.
We take an interest in each other's day.
Do you support your partner when they have a problem?
I tend to ignore him or criticise him for being down.
I show sympathy even if I feel critical.
Do you regularly make time for yourselves as a couple?
We don't spend much time together because we don't share many interests.
We set aside one evening a week and one whole day a month for each other.
In the earlier modules, we learned how to make ourselves think positively. Then we learned about speaking positively and about keeping our body language positive. And of course, staying fit and eating healthily are also naturally beneficial. With this confidence and with our efforts to ensure the achievement of well-formed outcomes for ourselves, we can start to spread the feel-good factor, to all our relationships with the people around us. People like being around positive people. They're contagious. The confidence they have in themselves allows them plenty of room for give and take. Mark Twain once said, the best way to cheer yourself up is to try and cheer someone else up. And being positive about other people is immensely seductive. Pose questions and listen to the answers. Don't dominate the conversation, but open up about your own thoughts and feelings and establish a trust that the other person can do the same. What we're talking about here is two people making a connection. It could be a personal one or it could be a business one. The fundamental human interactions hold true. Be able to give compliments gracefully and accept them with gratitude. People talk about win-win scenarios, and an enjoyable conversation, whether it's between a couple or between two colleagues, is the perfect example of win-win. Both sides can gain. Of course, there will be times when things don't go so well. You and your partner may have different personalities and different outlooks. You know, it's exciting when you first meet someone new, but when you've known someone a long time, those differences can become irritating. But your positive thinking training should kick in here. You know, you can use your irritation and turn it into a positive, turn it into curiosity about why someone else feels the way they do. You know, try and step into their shoes and understand their point of view. You never know, it may inform your thinking too. However, when you come to an issue on which you cannot agree, learn how to manage those disagreements. It's difficult to solve a conflict unless you get things out into the open. You know, things have to be discussed, thoughts and feelings have to be aired. Shared decision-making is the best way to find a solution that works. Our relationships with our partners are, for the majority, the most intense forms of interaction we have with other people. And how we are at home provides the foundation for how we are at work. And it's not just the job we do, but how we get along with others that defines how we feel about work.
How positive do you feel about your work? Put a tick on a piece of paper every time you agree with one of the following statements. Statement 1. I look forward to going to work in the morning. Statement 2. I feel my job is meaningful and fulfilling. Statement 3. I have as much energy and enthusiasm for work as ever. Statement 4. I am appreciated by my colleagues. Statement 5. I only occasionally feel upset or angry at work. And Statement 6. I ignore job ads because moving on is not on my mind. Now count the number of ticks you have. Any less than 6 means that you find some aspect of work negative. Look at these statements again and plan how you can make the experience more positive.
I find myself criticising my manager behind his back.
I make suggestions to my manager about how to improve things.
I complain about how much work there is to do.
If I have too much to do, I put in place a support network so I know I can get through it all.
I allow difficult situations to get worse.
I take on more of the work I enjoy.
Paid work is not going to be fun all the time, but having a constructive attitude can make it seem a lot better. Here are some top tips for keeping yourself on track. Number 1, at least come to work with a smile and decide to keep a smile even if you're under pressure. Number 2, be enthusiastic rather than critical. If you're unhappy about something, talk to the management assertively. Try to find solutions. People will listen a lot harder to someone who has been positive rather than someone who's just complaining. Number 3, stay motivated. The essence of being happy in your work is to work with what is important to you. If you like people, work in a team or in a job where you get to meet a lot of people. If you love knowledge or fashion, look to get as close to that job as possible. Number 4, keep learning. If it's a question of having to acquire new skills to get the job you like, then enroll on a course and get them. There are plenty of ways to learn part-time. Number 5, don't let your talents get overlooked. If you've done a good job, shout about it. Help others to notice. Number 6, chart your successes. Identify where you do well and get feedback on where you could do better, but be sure to act on the feedback.
Be pleasant to colleagues and clients, even when you're in competition or opposed. Speak well of others and congratulate them on their successes, even when you lose out. Take responsibility for your errors, rather than shifting the blame, and learn from whatever mistakes you might have made. Never gloat about your victories if they mean defeat for others. Celebrate when things go well and offer support and solutions when things go badly.
To have a happy and fulfilling life, we need to have a sense of purpose, an underlying point of existence that informs and guides our choices. It doesn't have to be a faith or a religion. You might just want to be the fastest bricklayer in the world, or manager with the highest productivity per employee in your group. But it helps you decide where you're going. It's your own mission statement. And to help you get one, imagine yourself at the end of a long and happy life. You've done it. You've achieved what you were born to achieve. And now you're just glancing back, looking back at the story that ran through your life. What were some of the key milestones along the way? These milestones are the main plot points that help create your mission. And once you've identified your own mission, you can use it to help you with the decisions you make. Now, of course, all this is about an individual. But once you understand what it means at a personal level, you can see how it can be applied to a group. One good example would be in Formula One motor racing. Every team in the race wants their car to be the fastest. They'll spend all their time working out how to achieve it. In fact, they have to. I was talking to the CEO of one of the Formula One teams, and he told me that the fastest car in the first race of a Grand Prix season would come last in the final race of the season if they failed to improve. They have to improve, or they'll get left behind, literally. If they're going to change something, though, that something is set against their mission. In other words, does it make the car go faster? Does it make our chances of winning better? Changing the tyres, for instance. If someone invented a way of getting the old tyres off and the new ones on even a fraction of a second quicker than how they'd done it in the past, they'd do it. They'd have a go. That fraction of a second might just make the difference in their mission. It's not the only mission in the world, it's just their one.
In a book published in 1991, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi from the University of Chicago developed the concept of flow activity. He identified the state of being you enter when you focus entirely on an activity and forget the here and now. He concluded that to be truly content, you need a regular dose of flow activity. He recommended at least 3 hours a week of non-work-related flow.
So I hope you've enjoyed our series of modules on positive thinking, and remembering that it's not just about being positive, but perhaps more importantly, it's about doing positive. And I hope you feel that you've progressed through the different sections. First of all, you identified the parts of your own personality and the parts of your own life where either your thoughts, your emotions, or beliefs used to turn towards the negative. Next, you challenge that negativity, now learning to think, speak, and act positively. Starting now to stretch yourself and spread that positivity into your work and your relationships. And finally, integrating all the exercises and work into your daily routine. The Japanese call it Kaizen. Kai means continuous, and Zan means improvement. As opposed to a why fix it if it's not broke philosophy, Kaizen has a more optimistic philosophical view. Everything, even if it ain't broke, can be made better. And there you have positive thinking in a nutshell. Enjoy and look out for the other titles and modules in our Essential Managers series.